Now we're going to create our projects folder and place HTML and CSS files inside it. So let's go to our websites folder and create a new folder there, and let's call it our lovely course. And then Bootstrap, as we're going to be mainly practicing Bootstrap in this project. So we're going to need to use a Bootstrap template, so we can download that in the Bootstrap website. Otherwise, we can just copy the files from the company websites projects where we used Bootstrap. Okay. And then we'll customize the files for our new project. So let's open this project in brackets. Okay. Okay, so let's go to the index.html file and change the title to our lovely project. And also let's empty the body element from all HTML elements. So I'm going to keep only the script elements at the end. Okay, and also let's open our CSS file and let's empty it. Okay. Let's just change the title to our lovely course. That's better. Okay. Now we are going to understand the structure of our work, which means that we're going to plan the different steps we're going to go through to build our website. Okay, so let's open our web page, or the final web page. So first of all, we are going to build the skeleton of the web page, which corresponds to the HTML components. And then we're going to style these elements using CSS. So inside the index.html file, we're going to create all these HTML components. So we're going to start by creating a video, which corresponds to the video you can see in the background. Okay? So add video to the body element. Okay? And then we're going to move to the navigation bar, and we're going to create this collapsible navigation bar the same way we have learned in the Bootstrap chapter. So this time the navigation bar is connected to the different sections of the website. So if we click on any of the links, it will take us to the corresponding section. Also, if you scroll down, you will notice that the links are going to get updated depending on which section is active. So if we move to the About section, the About link is active. And if we move to the Promise section, the Promise link is active. Okay? So to create this, we're going to use the Bootstrap scroll plugin as we have done in the Bootstrap chapter. Okay? So we'll create the navigation bar with Scroll Spy. Okay. Next, we are going to start creating the sections. So we're going to start with the Home section, which includes the title, the goal, and the Join Us button. Okay. So create the Home section with title, goal, and Join Us button. Next, we are going to create the About section, okay, which consists of these elements showing icons or pictures with some text, a heading and a paragraph. Okay. So that's going to be the About section. So create About section showing course details. Okay, So we're going to use the grid system to create this section as we have done in the company websites projects. Okay. And then we're going to create the next section, which shows a carousel slider. Okay. So this is the promise section. I'm just going to say create carousel. And finally, we're going to add a footer for our website. Okay. So that's it regarding the body element. Now, if we move to the CSS file, now let's start with the body element. So we are going to be using the Scroll Spy plugin to spy on the body element. Okay. So we will need to make the body positioned relative. Okay. This is going to be important so that the Scroll Spy plugin works. Okay. And also we're going to add a nice font family to the whole web page. Okay. By adding this font family to the body element. So that's going to be the first step in the CSS file. Okay. Next, we're going to move to the video element. So first, we are going to set the video as the background of the web page, and we're going to make it fixed. Okay. Also, we are going to make sure that the video spreads across the whole web page. And finally, we are going to make sure that the video appears behind all the elements. Okay, and we're going to use the Z-index property for this. Okay. The video is not going to work in small devices. So what we're going to do for small devices, like an iPhone, we are going to hide our video and we're going to set the picture, okay, or we're going to choose a picture as the background of our website. So for this, we're going to use the media queries, okay? And then we're going to make sure that the image spreads across the whole web page, okay? Okay, so the next step is going to be to style the navigation bar, okay? So you're going to style it using CSS. Next, we are going to style the home section and the elements inside it. So the elements inside the home section are going to be placed inside a Jumbotron. Okay, and by default, headings inside a Jumbotron, they have some padding or margin bottom. So we're going to reduce that margin bottom for these headings. And also we're going to style the button and its hover state. Next, we are going to move to the About section. So, first of all, we know that the navigation bar or the About link is going to become active once we scroll down enough. So that's the start of the About element hits the top border of our web page. So if the top border of the, or if the border of the About page or the About section is there, then we're going to have to wait until we get here to activate the link. But we would like to activate the link at this stage. So we're going to add some padding top to this element. Okay, so that the element starts there actually. Okay, and when we're scrolling down, the About link gets activated at this stage. Okay. All right. So also we are going to do something about the width of this section. So you will notice that in small screens, the About section is taking the whole width. Okay, but once we go to bigger screens, at some point the width is limited. Okay, so we're gonna limit the width in big devices to something like 1000 pixels. And then we're gonna make these headings bold, and also we're gonna set the dimensions of the icons or pictures. Okay. Okay. Next, we're gonna move to the promise section. So we are going to add some padding top for the same reason we explained for the home section. Okay, so that we update the link there and not there. Okay, also we're gonna set the width of the carousel. Okay, by default the carousel spans across the whole width of the page. Okay, so we're gonna change that. We're gonna give it this width, and also we're gonna change the height of the pictures inside the carousel items. And finally, we're gonna move the text, or we call the carousel captions, we're gonna move them under the pictures. By default, they are inside the pictures. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to move them under the picture. All right. Okay, and finally, we are going to style the pictures inside the carousel items in different device sizes. And you can notice that these images, they change their size depending on the width of our screen. Okay, you can see that. And we're going to do the same thing for the nav brand. So you'll notice that just before we touch the text, or before the toggle button touches the text, this text becomes a little bit smaller to allow more space between the button and the text. Okay, otherwise would have seen the text appearing under the button. Okay, so we would have seen two lines, one line for the toggle button and one line for the nav bar or the nav brand. Okay. And the final step is to style the footer using a transparent background. Okay, so we understood the structure of our work. So now we know exactly the different steps we're going to go through to build our website. So in the next video, we're going to start building HTML components and styling them using some CSS.